Hello, scholars. I know how much you guys like selfies, so I thought we would do a little selfie movie for the end of this class. We only have about 5 more minutes left in the video, the Making of Milwaukee video that we've watched over 7 different classes. 6 chapters, 7 classes, and we're just 5 minutes away. So instead of buffering the movie and watching it, I thought I'd just show it to you guys in a clip. Remember, in the movie, we've been learning about the industrialists, the people with the early factories in Milwaukee, factories that made our famous Cream City brick, factories that made hides, like a tannery, that used the hemlock bark from up north. And of course, we had the meat packing plants, like Patrick Cudahy and all those on the south side. And now we're going to learn about the last little piece from the Making of Milwaukee.
The secretaries were all men, and working conditions were light years away from those found in the tanneries and packing plants.
Industry of all kinds transformed Milwaukee. It became a different kind of city. As the grain trade slowly faded from view, industry gave the economy a new engine, one that brought in new people, new problems, and new landmarks. The local landscape changed dramatically in ways that are still very much with us.
Milwaukee had been a notably low-rise city before the Civil War. In the later 1800s, its rivers and railroad tracks were lined with industries. The banks of the Milwaukee River were especially popular building sites. When the riverfront lots were taken, industrialists looked elsewhere for room to grow. Where they looked more often than not was the Menominee Valley. The sprawling wetland of the lower Menominee had long been one of Milwaukee's distinguishing features. As a city grew up around it, the valley became a sort of in-town game preserve, a popular retreat for duck hunters and fishermen. Navigation was often a challenge. The Milwaukee Sentinel described the plight of 2 sportsmen who got lost in 1861.
They were gone all night, and some anxiety was felt for their safety. A deputation of friends found them in the morning, wildly shooting about amid the wild rice. The boat completely worn out, having rowed some 18 or 20 miles without getting out of the bayou.
Industrialists had little interest in sport. To them, the valley was hundreds of acres of land, or almost land, with superb access to both rail and water transportation, after a few improvements were made. Beginning in 1869, developers buried the marsh under tons of...
So we talked before in class about landfill and how landfill was used to help make the lake better and give us the area by Summerfest. Landfill is also used in the Menominee Valley. Nowadays, we think of the valley as stretching all the way from the Marquette University campus, a place a lot of you girls have been to on Destiny Day, all the way down past the Potawatomi Casino, famous for its flaming torch, to Miller Park. Miller Park and the bridges do connect all the way to the Menominee Valley. That's a pretty important piece of town. That's nowadays, though, since the 1950s. Let's see what happened between the 1890s and the period after World War II.
Garbage and gravel, much of it scraped from the adjoining bluffs and pushed into the valley below. The mallards and muskrats were soon evicted, the wild rice and cattails destroyed. The sinuous river was forced to flow in ruler's straight canals, creating 6 miles of dock frontage. In came the great packing plants of Plankinton and Layton, the main tannery of Pfister and Vogel, and the stockyards that supported them both. Up rose dozens of other enterprises, lumber yards, breweries, millwork plants, distilleries, coal yards, and machine shops. At the western end of the valley, near 35th Street, stood the largest of them all, the main shops of the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad. The Milwaukee Road shops made and repaired all the rolling stock for a company that owned 5,000 miles of track.
In its heyday, this valley supported the greatest concentration of industry in Wisconsin. The railroad shops alone provided nearly 2,000 jobs. Valley workers formed what was called the Bucket Brigade, streaming in every morning with their lunch pails and streaming out again at night. Industries remade the Menominee Valley after the Civil War, just as they remade Milwaukee. But it was workers, especially immigrant workers, who kept those industries running. And immigrants, of course, are the other side of the story.
Thanks, girls. I'm going to enjoy this banjo music. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Bye.